This your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post some new content. Well, people, if unless you've been hiding under a rock, uh, former NFL player O.J. Simpson passed away, 76 years old. I actually really found out about it while I was, at the gym or whatever. But people die every day, okay? But the thing that actually really got me about this is that, okay, here's a man that played professional football, right? But the first thing that most of us saw was the trial that happened back in 1995, where he actually supposedly had killed his ex-wife and Ron Goldman, right? And for those of us that are actually really old enough to know that sit down, that sit down and witness that stuff, right? We'll be like, okay, well, the judge, along with uh, Johnny Cochran, may he rest in peace. Uh, they was like, well, hey, if this is all the evidence y'all got, y'all see that the gloves don't fit, right? And we all know the slogan of what was going on, but the whole thing about that trial, right, was all kinds of fucked up. And the only reason why I say that is because, I'm just like, okay, why you got cameras in the courtroom, right? I mean, here it is that America, whether you want to call it white America, black America, or just some dumb motherfuckers, right? They was just like, okay, well, we gonna put basically what they said. We gonna put this nigga on display. He killed two white folks, but like I said, here's a man that he beat the system, regardless of how he beat the system. Guess what? He beat the system. So, the, the whole deal is, and then if you actually really just stop and think about it, the '90s was like that whole decade was like fucked up because we had the Rodney King, the so-called Rodney King beatings, and the so-called double murder that OJ did, right? And I'm just actually really going off of what some of the comedians have said. They're like, okay, we find you not guilty. Then here come these motherfuckers holler about, well, we gonna do a civil case for wrongful death. And then a lot of comedians will say, okay, well, what new nigga rule is this? Right? And so I'm just like, okay, we find you not guilty of murder, but then they gonna say, oh, well, you the cause of it. Well, damn. I mean, if that's the case, then let's everybody sue. What is that? The U.S. What? The U.S. FDA, Food and Drug Administration, right? You know, especially with some of that shit they actually really putting out at grocery stores, expecting for us to eat it, right? And then we die. I mean, granted fact, you're not actually like really responsible, but you're the cause of why, say, my grandmother or my grandfather or my uncle, you the cause of it because of the bullshit that you put in the grocery stores, right? But I get it. If that was to happen, then the United States government would most definitely be out of money. But then again, I told y'all how that shit goes. But you know, I'm just like, okay, out of everything, you know, and I guess it's true what they say. You're only good until your last fuck up, right? Whether it actually happened or whether this shit was actually really put on display, right? And you know, and I heard this, I heard what Skip Bayless had to say. I heard what Stephen A. had to say. And, you know, here it is damn near 30 years later. And the tension is actually like really still there. And so, you know, and then, but the thing about it though, I'm just like, you know, the reverse psychology or whatever the fuck it is that you actually like might want to call this. It's actually like really, it's really motherfucking amazing when you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, because here it is. Regardless of whether or not you actually really think that slavery happened, right? You know, because I'm just like, okay, how you gonna get all these motherfuckers on the boat, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But all what I'm saying is this. People of my color, and I'm not gonna say black here, but everybody else for the most part, right, you know, they were like, okay, well, they did. Big fucking deal. Because they killed them, right? But the first time when they get killed by one of us, oh, it's a motherfucking problem. But I really, truly, honestly believe the only reason why motherfuckers are still up in the air about that is because here's a guy, whether or not he did it or not, he had to stand trial for it. And he beat the motherfucking system. The justice system, regardless of who's in control of it, whether it's so-called black folks or whether it's so-called white folks. This motherfucker beat the system. And all hell broke loose. So, but like I say, you know, they did talk about this. Very little did they talk about this man's football career. I mean, yes, I was in the gym, I was working out, all that kind of stuff, but very seldom that they really didn't spend a whole lot of time on this man's football career. The only thing that I actually really saw was him in the courtroom. And so, for the most part, like I say, you put him on display because of what the fuck y'all thought he did. And then, here it is, this guy, he's dead now. He can't defend himself. And then you be like, okay, well, yeah, he dead, but let's act like really be like, okay, well, remember when we paraded him around? I mean, if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, y'all couldn't have did no worse. If y'all was actually really gonna put this man on display, shit, they do it like what they did that one guy, right? Kidnap him, and they poured tar on him, and they put feathers on him or some shit, and then they drug this motherfucker across town, right? The guy ended up dying, right? But to my recollection, right? I really don't think that anything happened to the people that actually really did it. Now, I could be wrong about that, but basically all what I'm saying is to put a man like that on display when, for the most part, court cameras should not be, I mean, news media cameras should not be allowed in the motherfucking courtroom. I gives a good goddamn who it is, right? I'm like, motherfucker, we all know, okay, he fucked up. I don't need y'all turning away from y'all's original programming to go watch somebody that y'all said he killed two people. Hey, look, who the fuck gonna watch that? You know, and then everybody wanna sit up here and holler about this, that, and the third. But the O.J. Simpson trial, I don't want to say it was the start of it, but it was a reminder of what Paul Mooney used to say: "Wake up, nigga." Right? But you know, and it just, I mean, I can actually really take this in so many goddamn directions to it's motherfucking ridiculous. But it's just for the simple fact, this is what the fuck they did to this man. Right? He beat the system, and you still try to take his money. It don't get no more fucked up than that. Now, on to other business. Netflix, I swear, these motherfuckers, they doing the damn thing. Apparently, well, they've been actively talking about it for some while. And I've seen the trailer. And 9 times out of 10, that's probably all what the fuck I need to see. Because I don't need nobody telling me, well, I didn't tell on my boy. Right? Or I didn't tell on my girl, or whatever the case may be, or my defense team wasn't strong enough. You know, 9 times out of 10, that's what the fuck you gonna hear. So, but the thing about it, though, is that, okay, the sheriff here in Pulaski County, he wanted to run an experiment, and so he invited these folks to doggone come in. Let's make a documentary out of this. I think it's like 8 shows for this. So they was like, okay, well, we want to see how y'all live. And then, so for the most part, they were saying, because it's so much of a shortage within the prison system, regardless of state, right, that these motherfuckers, they in their jail cell 23 hours. And they only get, well, They get that 1 hour free time or whatever the fuck the case may be. And so, so, but my thing is, who's to say that this experiment that they did or currently doing here in the state of Arkansas, right? What makes y'all think that they ain't doing that shit somewhere else? A lot of other people, a lot of other sheriffs probably actually really came up with the same idea or something similar. And then they just like, okay, well, we're gonna let you go first, right? Because what the fuck is in Arkansas? I'm just, again, they just be talking. But I know how, and I know everybody was here for the solar eclipse, right? But, what I'm actually really trying to say now is, other than the solar eclipse, right? Motherfuckers gonna be like, well, ain't shit here in Arkansas, right? But I'm just looking at it back, okay, well, you do something that you ain't got no business. You get your ass whooped. Or in this case, motherfucker, you finna go to prison. But everybody that goes to prison, right? Eventually your ass will turn over a new leaf. And so basically this is all what this guy this is all what this guy's doing now. They want to sit up here and holler about, well, the governor, she didn't know what the fuck is going on. But then again, I look at the simple fact, okay, the only reason why you're a governor of the state of Arkansas because of what the fuck your daddy did. Governor Huckabee is your daddy. That's the only reason why you sit in the governor's mansion right to this day. You didn't do this shit on your own. But then again, what politician, regardless of level, actually like really get in the playhouse on their own, right? So, but in our case, if if what this guy, whatever it is that he's actually like really trying to do, okay, it's an experiment. So guess what? If it goes bad, then you be like, okay, we don't have to do this shit no more. Right? And so, everybody inclined, man. So, hey, look, for me personally, hey, look. But you only do that like if you didn't show like some improvement, from the first time that you got there versus how you are now. It could be for the simple fact that, hey, look, these are two different people. And therefore, that's just how I look at it, right? So, you be like, okay, you give them a little freedom or whatever. Because the thing about it though is this, if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, I can see it if they just unlocked every goddamn thing, right? But all what the fuck they did, they just let them out their cell. Guess what? Your ass still ain't gonna get out this motherfucker, and then if you do, they gonna catch you. They gonna catch your ass eventually. So me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it, if you ask me. So last order of business. Tomorrow is April 12th, which in all actuality should be Good Friday, because April 14th is the day that D actually really hung on the cross. And again, I'm not actually really fit to go into that. I'm actually really talking about Netflix is gonna do this Netflix special about good times, right? And so, everybody for the most part seems to be up to everybody, but the thing, I done did 2 shows about this already. But here's the deal, people. Take in consideration, and if I said it, then okay, I won't say it again. But my whole deal is, let's look at how television was back in 1974. You couldn't show it wasn't too much that you could show, right? And then you look at television now, and they showing every goddamn thing, right? I mean, they're like say, y'all want to clown a cartoon, but like I say, y'all don't want to clown love and hip hop. If indeed y'all want to call that shit love, and whether or not y'all want to call that shit hip hop, right? And all this other motherfucking bullshit ass reality TV that's out there, right? Y'all will watch every goddamn thing else. But this is good times, right? And I'm just like, they always say, well, hey, make good out of a bad situation. But all what I'm saying is this: women had their asses out and I know I said this, but women had their asses out in every decade possible. And then when somebody actually decided to put that shit, a motherfucker be like, ooh, do that again, but I'm gonna record it. That's all what the fuck this is, people. So just like I said, y'all seem to be and for what? Like, really? Go clown some of the shit on now, right? Then you can talk to them. But in either case, that's my piece on the whole OJ deal. Uh, both of the Netflix specials. So hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner, Paul's Harris. They can't crazy off. I'm gonna holler at y'all.